Are you going to say live? All right, we are live today. We are going to recap the sweep a little bit in case you missed it against the Phillies, and then we're going to kick off the rematch of the World Series in 2023 against the Diamondbacks and the Rangers. Stay tuned on the DLS Rangers podcast.
We're live.
All right, we're live. We're frozen. We're here. It's a Monday, as Queen Cat has said. Abby Jones, great to be with you. Joined with Jeff Wilson, John Radigan on vacation until Wednesday. So you will get Rads back in action. Then we got Queen Cat on the production and World Series matchup. I think we're going to carry that one more year.
One more year.
One more year. I put it on Twitter. Get the chat going.
We got one more year.
When that is off the shelf. But first, we want to kind of revisit the sweep against the Phillies because it was, important series.
Yeah, we're going to try to fix the Rangers. They've lost 4 in a row, and the Phillies seem to be like the bar. They're like they're a contender, right? They're leading the East in the National League. At least I think they are. If not, they're a wild card team. Okay, and they're pretty good, right? They pitched well. Their bullpen's good. Their lineup wasn't great. The first 3 are fantastic, and then after that, they need to string some things together and manufacture runs. But that's the level the Rangers have to reach. And can they do it? The answer is probably yes. Will they do it? The answer is
TBD.
That's the answer. So anyway, kind of look at how they match up here. The Rangers, great rotation, right? Phillies have a pretty good rotation too, and it's going to get better when Nola gets healthy. So right now, it's at minimum, it's a push. Could be advantage Rangers, right? All right. Bullpen, clearly advantage Phillies, and went out and got Johan Duran, and that guy's unbelievable. Man, he's good.
He's really nice.
That Orion Kirkering is good in the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting David Robertson. He joined the team yesterday. Strom, the long-haired lefty who's into baseball cards, he's pretty good too. So when the Phillies get the lead, it's a tall order for any team to come back. Okay, so defense will give the advantage to the Rangers. They've been one of the best defensive teams in baseball all season. Saw some of their plays just yesterday in the outfield. That crazy catch by Dlls was kind of, I was lucky. And then the great catch by Wyatt with Dlls cutting in front of him. The previous play was good. They seem to be able to turn double plays when they need one. A lot of the credit for that goes to the pitcher, but this is a good defensive team. Offense, advantage Phillies. I mean, gosh.
Unspeakable numbers.
There are probably like 25 teams that probably have the advantage over the Rangers offensively, but Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, that's a hell of a 1-2-3. And then after that, it's like JT Realmuto was batting 4th. He got 9 home runs. Yeah. Nick Castellanos was in there. And again, he only hits home runs when people die, apparently. But celebrities die. So, but he's a veteran guy. You kind of stick in the middle there. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, you may have heard of him if you follow baseball. If not, then it's like, okay, who are these guys? They seem to put the ball in play. They seem to know how to manufacture runs. And that's kind of gives them a complete a fairly complete offense. They don't hit for enough power, I don't think, but they have the fourth or fifth best batting average in baseball.
Yeah.
Guys will get on base, and man, you could tell that the Rangers were very, very careful with Schwarber, who homered in his first at bat. Didn't homer again, but I think is because he walked every other time. It seemed
Right.
like.
Yeah.
So can the Rangers match that caliber of play? I think the answer is yes, if the offense can figure it out, which at 4.5 months into the season now, we don't know. And then, if the bullpen gets stabilized in the back end, which that's a work in progress. But I just think the Phillies are a pretty good club right now. And I know there's some concerns about Zach Wheeler and his velocity was down, but those two lefties are tough. They have a third lefty, Suarez, who's really, really good. I mean, that's a pretty good outfit that Dave Dombrowski's put together.
Yeah. Talked with a few of the Phillies guys. Johan was really excited because he and Harrison Bader came over on a trade. So they're from Minnesota, and they went from a team not really in it to a very serious contender. And Phillies are a notorious contender. Red October is a thing, and one of the most hostile environments I think in baseball. Players love playing there, but Johan was so excited. He's like, "We're amazing, great team, great lineup, great rotation, great bullpen. It's amazing. We're a good team," and he was just excited. But yeah, I mean, this club's going to do damage. Jeff mentioned it, but the team has a batting average of 255, fourth in the league in this category. Pitching staff has an ERA of 3.7, which is eighth best overall. It's not the Rangers, but pretty good too.
Yeah.
They added some length in that bullpen as well, and I mean, they had production in the entire lineup, and I think that's what separates good teams from great teams, because when you can get a home run from Kyle Schwarber, I mean, check off the box, but like when he doesn't have a game, if he's your only guy that's going to produce, that's a problem.
Well, and that's kind of where the Rangers are right now.
Right. And
with Seager.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, the story wasn't Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper in the series, and they still got a sweep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes a good team great, and able to contend in the postseason. So yeah, I mean, it was a tough matchup. I mean, you wish you could have gotten the DeGrom game. DeGrom.
Yeah, they needed
sure
that was the
wishes
one they
he got
needed
that.
to win, and it wasn't. They were in pretty good shape to do so. But again, the Rangers have flaws, obviously, but like they just can't put anything together against left-handed pitchers. So if in a series, they throw two lefties, chances are that the Rangers aren't going to win the series. The exception was the Yankees series when they did win 2 out of 3. They only beat one of the two lefties, but nevertheless, the Yankees. That second game was kind of the one that was up for grabs, and they ended up winning the third game. The Yankees did with Rodon on the mound. So Rangers need to be better there. They need to be better on the road. But and it's still we know, and we've talked about how there aren't a lot of great road teams now, and that's true. But the two ahead of the Rangers in the West are both above 500 on the road, mildly above 500, but hey, it still counts.
Yeah.
The Phillies are above 500 on the road, and that's why they've opened up a 5.5 game lead in the East over the Mets. So, but can the Rangers be a division winner? Probably. They can. They're capable of it. Can they be a playoff team? They're capable of it. Just right now, they're not playing to their full capabilities, nor have they all season.
Right. It's a struggle. When they were swept over the weekend, the Rangers scored a total of 7 runs during a 4-game losing streak. They look to avoid losing 5 straight for the first time since a season worst of 6 games back in mid-May. And the big thing to notice about here, in Marcus Semion's last 7 games, he's hitting 148.
Yeah. Well,
and 1 extra base hit, 4 strikeouts. Again, it's all not one guy, but he is a pretty important part of the lineup.
Yeah, and we'll get a little bit into that in the how to fix him. He's part of it again. When the Rangers were playing great there, and not great, when their offense started going, he was right in the middle of it. He was leading it, charge, everything. So, yeah, let's not throw all of our
Not all the stuff.
throw it all out first. We got an hour to kill here. So you can probably apply this how do the Rangers match up with the Phillies to some other teams. Let's do the Astros. Rangers have the clear advantage on the Astros in pitching. Okay, the bullpen, they have a clear closer who's a bad man, Josh Hader. So I think that probably you have to give him the edge at closer. Now bullpen
Agreed.
overall, I think it's probably the Rangers, but again, and this is the Robert Garcia thing, and something that somebody brought up to me. Nobody in the Mariners dugout was shaking in their boots when Robert Garcia came in.
Correct.
Josh Hader comes into the game, you're like, we're in trouble. Defensively, the Rangers are definitely better than the Astros. So, and then head to head, the Rangers have been better than the Astros. They lost like 4-3 this year, and they still have 6 more games to go. So that's a silver line. All right, you look at the Mariners, and the Mariners since July the 31st are a lot different than before July 31st. They now have the edge offensively. As stunning and as it is for me to say that, because I never believe in the Mariners' offense, they've got the edge. With Raleigh, now he has a little support in Suarez. That Josh Naylor's been really good for them. So
yeah,
those trade deadline acquisitions were pretty big. And then the bullpen, the Mariners have the bullpen edge. Clearly, rotation now that they're back healthy, the Mariners probably probably a push, but you could probably make a good debate either way. Logan Gilbert's like not having a great year, but he's still pretty good. George Kirby's been on fire, and Brian Wu is really good. So, the Mariners are a better team right now than the Rangers. So, and that's the 2 teams ahead of them. I do think that the lead in the West for the Astros is down to half a game. So I think that's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the Rangers will, the Astros will then drop into the wild card portion. I mean, the Rangers will have a shot at them because they have the 6 games head to head and still to play in September.
I mean, Aaron Boone said, the AL is kind of wide open, and it's kind of true. I mean, it's going to be down to the wire, I think. But I was just on the Phillies podcast before this one, and he was asking like, if the Rangers are in a playoff spot. I mean, I know they're starting rotation, but do you believe in the offense? What's your answer?
Well, you can take a look at this series. The Phillies threw a guy who should have been an all-star, a guy who's had a ton of promise in his career, and a guy who's an all-star. And the Rangers scored what? 5 runs? 4 runs? Not enough runs. And so you are like, well, if that's what they're going to do against good pitching, which is all you're going to see in the postseason, then you have some issues. But again, and I know Blake is in the chat, kind of working negative, and that's fine because that's a very legitimate sentiment. There's a very good chance that the Rangers are a playoff team, but say they don't have a chance at the playoffs at this point with still, what did we say? They've got 43 games left to go. A lot can happen in 43 games.
Yeah.
Team just has to get hot at the right time, like the Tigers last year. Anyway, if the Rangers could get into the postseason, look at 23. They got hotter than anybody else, obviously. And so it's just a matter of them getting hot. And if they're able to do it, I mean, there's a whole hell of a lot of evidence that suggests they're not going to do it. The schedule ahead of them doesn't look very friendly. Diamondbacks, who we'll talk more about a little later, are below 500. They sold. They are still better than the Rockies, who they just took care of over the weekend. So that's why their record's probably a little bit better than it should be. So the Rangers maybe get a breather, a winnable series here. But then it's at Toronto. That's going to be brutal. The Royals at Kansas City. Well, the Rangers aren't good on the road, so they got to figure out a way to figure that out. They have to figure that out. Then they come home, and it's the Guardians, who are now ahead of the Rangers in the wild card standing. So it's a tough road they've got the Brewers and the Mets coming up next month. I mean, it's not
The Brewers.
it's not
Oof.
getting any easier for them. So that's another obstacle. But yes, they can get hot. I've seen a lot of baseball over my years on the beat. That's why I don't really count anything out. I've learned that the the season, the length of the season, it's a real thing. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a real thing, and so much can happen at any time. So, if you're a hopeful and optimistic fan, look at it that way. Blake, understand your angst, and it's earned. Rangers have earned your angst, but I wouldn't, because the season's so long, quite throw in the towel yet.
Yeah, don't count them out. I think it
Yeah.
was August 11th, like to the day that the Tigers got hot.
Yeah.
Like I have a vivid memory of it being August 11th. So hey, don't let the Rangers get hot. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
And it's interesting the way that the schedule is because they don't have any more division play after September 17th.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
So, all right. Well, we are going to keep chatting. We're going to talk about how the Rangers can get better with what is left to play. But first, we're going to tell you about Empire Today, so stick around. All right. We are in our podcast lounge. So normally you get to see our really cool floors. Really, this is podcast studio, should say the lounge in there. So you normally get to see our cool floors. Don't have them in here, but Empire Today hooked us up with some good floors. They have been an A1 Day One sponsor for us. Floors pretty pricey, so they offered a $350 off coupon, which is very kind because they haven't changed that since we started. It's been $350 off since we started, and they also have a scheduled free in-home estimate just to check that out as well. So they have a cool option because you can actually see the floors that you're going to get before you buy them. So floors are a commitment. I would imagine you got to look at them for 20, 30 years if they're great floors like Empire Today. So you want to know that you like what you're buying. So we have the $350 discount code with DLLS. Restrictions may apply. Visit EmpireToday/DLLS for full details.
Yeah, floors are definitely on our the Wilson family to-do list, but floors aren't cheap, even though Empire Today is trying to make them cheap. So Monarch Money is who you need to go to help you sort things out, figure out how much money you have, how much money you can spend. They'll put you on a budget and they'll help you save. They'll help you live the life you want to live, not the one where you're just clawing and scratching to get by. Back to school. School starts for a lot of people tomorrow. For the Wilsons, it's Wednesday, and we just went back to school shopping. And holy underwear, do we spend a lot of money?
Yeah.
These unexpected, unexpected expenses. Molly had 3 teeth pulled today. Well, that ain't cheap. So anyway, monarchmoney.com. You use the code DLS, you get 50% off your first year. They're going to help you get straight.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, a lot of can be a little negative Nelly at the moment with the losses. So how can the Rangers get better realistically?
Well, okay. First of all, and Kat's got the whatchamacallit, the graphic. Second half numbers for the Rangers offensively, pretty abysmal, right? There are only 15 teams in the league, so these are bottom tier numbers. And again, this is kind of where the Rangers have been all year, minus that stretch from, let's say, late June to the All-Star break. Maybe that homestand right out of the All-Star break, you can include that too. So about a month worth of good offense. The rest of it's been pretty bad. Left Bruce Bochy looking exasperated. And so how do you fix that? Well, part of the problem, these are, again, in the second half, 5 hitters. I've pinpointed 5 hitters, and 3 of them are like in their first 4 batters. But we'll go with Josh Smith, the leadoff hitter, batting 197 with 588 OPS. Marcus Semien, who bats third, 174. You type his last 7. This is since the second half started. 174, 496 OPS. Dlls in there at 194 and 569 OPS. And then Jonah Heim, 186, surprisingly, a 597 OPS. So right there, that's about half your lineup.
Yeah.
Below 200. And then like Wyatt Langford, a little bit above 200. Kyle Higashioka, he's cooling off. Josh Young has cooled off a little bit since he came back. Corey Seager is actually going the right way after about a 4 or 5 games hiccup. But so how does this get better? Well, you got to have the internal improvement. Jake Berger's back, and I thought Jake Berger has looked pretty good. Evan Carter is taking live batting practice today. His 10 days are about to be up. Again, this isn't it's a tough part of the season, but we got to keep in perspective this guy's career, that he's 23. But if he's okay and can play, I think he's going to help. I think the big deal of those is catcher, and I don't I don't know that there's a ton of help there. I know everybody will. A couple things. The Rangers just signed Omar Narvaez. He's a veteran catcher. Rangers need some depth. Higashioka's been in the injured list twice this year. And then Heim is struggling. Now, I don't know if Omar Narvaez is the offensive. He went 0 for 3 in his Round Rock debut last night. Maybe it would be some fresh blood. I don't know. But Jonah has not been very, very good this year, and especially of late. So is that a solution? Maybe. I don't know. And then Blake, you're not alone on this one, Blake. A lot of people are demanding that Cody Freeman be in the lineup tonight. And first things first, Cody Freeman, while he has caught in his minor league career, he hasn't caught the last 2 seasons. He hasn't caught since high A. All right. He is not an option at catcher. It's been asked by me, and the answer is no. There's a reason why he stopped catching. Maybe it wasn't getting good enough. Maybe they wanted to see the bat. Maybe they thought they had a need elsewhere. Oh, I don't know how they could, since they have 1,000 utility infielders on the roster and in the minor league. Cody Freeman's not an answer at catcher. All right. So where do you put him? Well, let's see. Are you going to put him at third base? Probably not. Shortstop? Definitely not. Second base? You can make an argument, but let's be realistic here. Cody Freeman is not unseating Marcus Semien.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Semien's not sitting.
So where are you going to put Freeman in the outfield? He's never played the outfield in the minor league. All right. So that's a tall order. And then if you bring him up and say, all right, you're taking Ezekiel Duran's roster spot. Great. How many times is Cody Freeman going to play? 2 or 3 times a week? And that's not good. Now, you could just say, all right, the hell with it. So-and-so, you're struggling really badly. This guy's hitting 331 at AAA. Excuse me. He needs to play. You could find a spot for him. You could put him at DH. All right. You can do whatever you want. And here's Blake saying, "No, I'll put him in right field." Why would you put a guy in right field who's never played right field?
Right.
If you want to give Dlls a week off, okay, great. But I just don't know why you'd want to put a guy who's never played the outfield in the outfield, especially somebody who plays it as well as Dlls.
Right. Dlls is a Gold Glove outfielder, and he made a spectacular
he's
play.
Going to win it this year. Okay. Okay, Cody was playing right field the other day in Round Rock. I saw. Okay, so he has 1 game in AAA, or 2 or 3.
I'm taking a Dlls.
Before Cody Freeman was called up last month, he had played 0 career games in the minor league. All right, this is not. It's not plug and play. Okay, he's not experienced enough, and if your team isn't scoring runs, you have to prevent them. I mean, you have to do whatever you can to prevent them. And putting Cody Freeman in right field, as much as I love Cody Freeman, he's been on the weekly show 3 times, one of my favorite guys in the minor leagues. He would hurt the team defensively. Just threw him out there into right field. All right? So you got to find the right spot for him. He is a third baseman. He was the Rangers' Defensive Player of the Year last year. He can play second. He played a little shortstop this year. It's probably like he could play it in a pinch at the major league level.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now Blake's getting sassy. Yeah, you guys are right. Just keep doing what they're doing. We're not saying that, Blake. It's just there's no spot for Cody Freeman. All right, they do need to do things differently. So, as good as it looks, and it looks great,
It's not realistic.
It's got to be a fit. And maybe the Rangers are like, screw it, we're putting him in. He's going to play. He's going to DH for us. Awesome. He can do that. All right.
Freeman can DH.
He can DH against left-handers, and Jock Peterson can DH against left-handers. Because now Jock Peterson, or against right-handers, now Jock Peterson's a regular guy, and then you can find Cody a couple other games somewhere else. All right, let's. That's an easy solution. But when you just look at it on paper, and put it to the test, where's he going to play? He's not going to play. Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway, there are other ways to improve, and the bullpen is one area. And it looks like they're attempting to. They've made some changes. Robert Garcia is no longer the closer, so that's good. And he has pitched better in the lower leverage situations that he's had. So good for Robert. But looks like Phil Maton is going to be the closer for now. Maybe Danny Coulombe gets a shot at it, depending on who's coming up in the ninth inning of a certain game. Try to find the right pockets for guys, as Bruce Bochy likes to say. So that seems to be getting better. Chris Martin is going to throw live batting practice tomorrow, so he's going to get close. I'd imagine they'll make him go out just to test it, just to make sure, but maybe they won't. But anyway, you're about to add a really good arm back. Mm-hmm. Cole Wynn's been great. I think you're going to see him pitching in more leverage situations. So there are ways for the bullpen to get a little bit better, and they appear to be working on them. Rotation-wise, DeGrom got better after what you'd call two not great outings, at least by his standards. Leiter needs to be better and needs to be more consistent. You'd expect that Merrill Kelly will be better. He's had one good one and one not so good. And then Patrick Corbin. All right, what are we going to do with Patrick Corbin? Well, he gives the Rangers a chance every game. He doesn't strike out a bunch of guys. He doesn't go deep into the games, but the innings he gives them, for the most part, are really handy. Mm-hmm. He leaves the Rangers generally in a position where they can go win a game. Yesterday, they could have won the game, even though he only pitched into the fifth. So I don't know if you do anything with Patrick Corbin. Maybe when Tyler Mahle gets back.
Yeah.
Well, that seems a little distant. Maybe you do a piggyback situation. I don't know. I just think that the rotation is going to be what it is. There aren't a ton of options. John Gray seems to be okay in the bullpen. Kumar Rocker's down there, but indication was he wasn't too great the other night. In Albuquerque, tough place to pitch. I didn't see it, but he still needs to be down. And then, September 1st rolls around, you get to add one pitcher and one position player. Maybe that's when third catcher Narvaez comes up. Perhaps when they draw on Craig Kimbrell, or maybe somebody comes off the injured list at that point. But I don't think that there are a bunch of answers and ways to upgrade the roster. I mean, I would love to see Cody Freeman in the.
Yeah. And Cody would love to see Cody.
Rarities. Kimbrell is still with Round Rock. He's had a pretty good stretch of like 2 weeks. Just still don't know where the velocity is. And that's the big one. That's why Josh Sborz hasn't been. Rangers don't care for the velocity right.
Yeah.
On the heater. So there you go.
And when you talk about the improvements, I mean, so much can obviously. Any improvement is a major improvement with the offense because they're 28th in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging. But when you're talking about improvements from the bullpen or starting rotation, like the best only getting better because overall pitching ERA, they're first in the league. And then starting pitching ERA first, and then relief pitching fourth. So when you're talking about that aspect getting better, pretty solid. And then there was the question asked, like, has the defense been so good this season because the offense is lacking? And they're wanting to, hold the runs where they can. And maybe the defense feels that pressure. I mean, defense has been fun and great to watch and kept them in the games.
Yeah.
Shoot, almost all season. But when the offense is lacking, the way that it has, I mean, there's only so much that your pitchers,
Yeah, yeah, and and at this point, nobody's healthy. Nobody's 100%, so they're going to start to show signs of some wear and tear. But so was everybody else. You still wonder about Degrom's innings.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps posting every fourth or fifth day, and he says he feels great. And I think you go with what the starting pitcher says and how he's feeling, and if he's checking off all the boxes physically, um, he's gonna probably not probably. I think he's already exceeded a lot of people's expectations for how many starts he was going to make this year. Um, and he's healthy, and he's probably got room for seven more starts, maybe 8. Crazy. Player development question: is there any chance Cody Freeman transitions back to catcher? I don't know. There hasn't been anything said when being asked about him if that's a possibility or not. You he has said in the past that when he caught, his bat struggled because there'd be a fatigue factor at the end of games. He give away at bats. Maybe now that he's hitting and seems dialed in offensively, maybe that would be different. But if the bat's going to be good, you probably want it as often as possible. And so maybe they eschew the catching for a little more outfield players, something to that effect. It'll be interesting, because the Rangers are going to have to reshape this roster. And I think there was a comment early on about Bruce Bochy and Chris Young doing something to the roster. Well, there's nothing they can really do about it now. Trade deadline is passed. If some of the teams try to save money by releasing their players like the Angels did a couple of years ago, maybe the Rangers would be in a position to swoop in and grab some upgrades. Always possible. But what is Ezekiel Duran's future with this team? Could they trade him, even if it's just for prospects, to help reload the farm system after the deadline moves? Adolis, I don't think Adolis is back. I've been saying that for a while. I don't. I think this is his last year. I know he's going into arbitration. His final year arbitration, but he's going to be due for a raise to get him, let's say, into the $12 million mark. I don't know that that's the Rangers want to pay that.
Yeah.
So it's going to look different. We've gone past our ads.
Yeah,
we got to do ads. I was on a roll.
Jeff was very passionate. All right. Well, we are going to preview the Diamondbacks series because they're saying a sweep against the D-backs and all is forgiven. If only it were that easy in Major League Baseball. We'll talk about it coming up next on the DLS Rangers podcast. All right. So you guys should have your Twitter notifications on. I call it Twitter still.
Yeah, me too.
I'm never going to call it X. Either way, on the DLS Cowboys. Because those fellas are out in Oxnard, California. They've got a show today at 4 p.m. This is exciting for the crew because it's kind of the first time we're really, really boots on the ground for the Cowboys season. We're almost coming up on our 1-year anniversary of DLLS. So we were kind of starting at the Cowboys season when we, kicked it all off. So this time we get to be there from start to finish, which is really exciting. So Jeff and Jesse, and not this Jeff.
The other Jeff.
Jeff Kavanaugh. And Jesse and Clarence. Clarence Hill's been out there quite some time, but we've got the crew. We're going to be out there all week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 o'clock. I think Thursday, a little bit later. Friday is an off day. And then Saturday, game day for the Cowboys. So go ahead and check out the DLS Cowboys podcast. We've got a lot of really fun content coming.
Yeah, and become a diehard. I think you can still do it for $36 right now. Little training camp special with the boys out there, which is cool. $36. God dang it! It buys you. Look at that. Scan the QR code. It gets you everything and a free T-shirt. And it's not just Cowboys training camp offer. It's not just Rangers show. No, it's all the teams we cover. Everything that's paywalled. And we do it better than anybody else. I'll take that to my grave, or not to my grave. That makes it like a secret. I'll take it as far as I can run with it. I'll carry that ball as far as I can go. I'll die on that hill. Yeah. And so I would do this promptly, and we'll talk about all the sweet things that you get with the Diehard membership coming up on our next ad break.
Woohoo!
Yep. Jonah Heim. Who's asking about Jonah Heim?
His fatigue.
Natalie.
Natalie.
Championship games. Yeah, Jonah's another guy. Natalie. Oh, Natalie, it's good to see you again. Yeah, I don't think Jonah's back next year. I really don't. Now the Rangers again don't have a ton of catching depth, but if this is who Jonah Heim is, he had the great 23, which I'm gonna get into here in a second. Otherwise, he is what he is. This is who he is.
Far.
And he's been sub that. I think this is who the guy is. Is that good enough? Might not be. No, you don't want to give up a controllable catcher, especially when your organization does have a ton of catching depth. But might be time to see if you can do a little bit better there.
I really wish they would have James McCann.
I know you do, but there'll be a lot of one-year guys you can get. A lot of maybe there. I don't know who's going to be free agent. I haven't
Dove into the catcher market.
I haven't gotten there yet. But that's another one who's may not be back. But it also depends. What do you want to get from catcher? if you're a championship caliber team, what do you want from catcher? You want them to be really good defensively, get your pitchers through their innings, and he appears to do that pretty well. I think he has some moments behind the plate defensively where he looks a little lazy. I don't think he's tired, to answer your actual question, Natalie, because he's had more time off this season thanks to Higashioka. If it is fatigue, then that's a problem because he's basically caught a little more than half of the games. That's an issue. So I don't know what the answer is on Jonah, but it's starting to look like the answer might be that he has to go to the team.
Yeah, I concur. I really do.
Anyway, but we're going to talk about the upcoming series. You know, Jonah may catch 2 of the 3 games because Kyle Higashioka caught 2 of the 3 against the Phillies. They're trying to keep these guys fresh. Last night being a day game, yesterday being a day game. Last night day didn't make any sense. Last night being a day game, God damn it, I did it again. Yesterday being a day game could allow Higashioka enough time to rest to come back today, be off tomorrow, catch the finale, which is a day game Wednesday, day off, and then go to Toronto. You can catch 2 of the 3 there. So that's a potential way to juggle the catching. But this is a rematch of the World Series, 2023 World Series, the best 5 days and 5 games in Rangers history, and yay! And again, the shelf life on referring to this as a World Series rematch is dwindling. You said through next season or just through this season?
No, this season.
Just through this season. Well, all right. Anyway, so it's a World Series rematch.
Because they're still giving out like World Series promo.
They are.
Like they're handing out those rings.
Well, tonight's one example.
They're giving
too.
out Corey Seager's. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah,
First
and it
15,000 fans.
It talks. Push the button and it says it. So you look at these rosters. It's like, oh hey, I remember that guy. And I'm sure Arizona fans are looking at the Rangers roster and be like, oh, yeah, he's still with them, huh? Corbin Carroll, El Marte, Lourdes Gurriel, Peromo, their shortstop. Now, obviously, they have some differences, but pitching names are largely the same. Look at the Rangers. The lineup is very, very similar. Pitchers, Evaldi, who's probably still has the Diamondbacks scratching their heads how he didn't give up a run in those 6 innings in Game 5.
Mm-hmm.
Bullpens always turn over. I don't think the Rangers have anybody left from that bullpen. Well, I guess Gray in the World Series.
Yeah.
Spores, but he's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, and then there have been some differences. Jacob deGrom's healthy. Healthy Jacob deGrom. Hey, Rangers didn't have that for very long in 2023.
And we've got one of their guys on our side.
Merrill Kelly, who just got traded to the Rangers. And then he was one of the two guys at the top of the Diamondbacks rotation, Zach Gallen being the other guy, and he's having a terrible season in his walk year to free agency. So those are some of the differences. The coaches are all still the same. So Jeff Bannister will be back as the bench coach. Corey Lavello, who's a good dude, back as manager. And you look at the Rangers. Will Venables, they're a big change. They fired Donnie Ecker earlier this year and replaced him with Brett Boone. And that's a question coming up in the offseason the last month. Will Brett Boone be back? I don't know. Anyway, will Bruce Bochy be back? That was just asked in the chat. And I don't know. That's an interesting one too. I don't think you want to go out like this. I think Mike Maddox is at the end of his contract. If I was Mike, I'd want to be on board for 2 more years of DeGrom and Evaldi. I'd want to ride that one out. He's 62 or 63. Just had his first grandkid, so maybe that'll pull him away. But he's also a hell of a golfer and can play golf every day. You can't do during the baseball season. So we'll see about that one. But that's another off-season question. Bruce Bochy going to come back? If he doesn't, who do you replace him with? Would Brett Boone want to be in? There are a lot of ways this could go. Mark, keep Maddox as the pitching coach. Well, I agree, but it's up to him.
Yeah.
He's not going to get fired. All right, that's for sure. If he wants to continue in that role, I'm sure the Rangers find a way, scrape up the money to do it.
Mike Maddox is a guy that you want back.
Yeah, I want him back because he's my friend, and I like talking to him, and but I also want him to be happy, and if he wants to retire,
Live Moss.
Then God bless him. He's
but
been
he's
in the game forever.
Here's the thing about baseball guys: they get back in baseball even when they leave. It's like I was talking to Boch about it because Boch wrote a book and I read it and dedicated a chapter to his wife, and I was like, Boch, how long have you been married? 47 years.
A lot.
I'm like, man, 47 years in baseball. That's tough to do. And I'm like, what's your secret? And he goes, probably baseball. So yeah, it's a big adjustment, but
that's true. I mean, he's on the road. They're not.
They do their own thing.
Yeah.
All right. So while we can call this the World Series rematch, what was your favorite moment from?
It was nice to see him win after however many years it had been. Me on the beat, others had served longer, so I don't feel like it was. I'm way overdue. There, like Eric Nadel, way overdue. So I enjoyed the clinch and the guys who contributed. Obviously, Corey Seager was the MVP, but probably the way Evaldi danced around trouble. I think looking back at it, the Seager home run was fantastic. That
great moment.
I'll never forget that. And really, the Rangers probably don't win the World Series, or they have a real hard time winning the World Series. If he doesn't have that ninth inning.
Yeah.
It was a cool moment. It was a no doubt home run. Everybody went crazy. So singular moment, probably that. Evaldi getting in and out of trouble in Game 5 was pretty spectacular. I thought, Mitch Garver having a big hit. Thought that was pretty cool. I thought Josh Spores getting the last however many outs he got was really cool. But I think the moment where I kind of realized, all right, they're going to win. It wasn't the Simeon homer. It was the Jonah Heim single that turned into a triple. Well, not a triple, but a single and 2-base error. When they scored that run, I was like, all right, it's over.
Yeah, really?
So yeah, I felt real confident. As in our position, gatherers of news, and so instead of like watching the last out with my eyes, I was watching it through my phone.
Yeah.
So I don't.
You got to get the content.
I don't really know that I got the true essence of the final out. But and then I had a lot of work. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a blur for me. I was also covering the Mavs too. There was a
Uh-huh.
home game. They were playing World Series game. Um, but what was your favorite contribution? I mean, you kind of touched on it. Favorite
Yeah.
contribution? Mine's an underrated one of just Austin Hedges. Like his reactions to everything, because those clubhouse guys are such a big piece in morale
Yeah.
and vibes and energy. So
Yeah.
Hedgie was always going to be one of my favorites.
Yeah. Travis Jankowski, who a great guy.
El Blondie.
That was pretty cool when he came in game 4 and got
Yeah.
immediately contributed. That was really fun for him. I remember after that game, he like the media just swarmed his locker. so he was getting all the attention. Can't forget Andrew Heaney started that game and was terrific.
Mm-hmm.
He really was. And then John Gray, after Scherzer got hurt, Gray had to come in, and I think he got 9 outs on 27 pitches, something like that. Just blew the doors off of the Diamondbacks, and that was a critical contribution. So I always like it when the little guy comes. Not that they're little, but they're not the guys you were expecting.
Yeah. All right. Well, time for another ad break. So we are going to bat cleanup. We got a lot to chat about today. Any questions for the upcoming series against the Diamondbacks? Put it in the chat and we'll get to it.
Okay, so I kind of teased it a few minutes ago. When you're a diehard, you get the free shirt at store.allcitynetwork.com. I haven't ordered the new ones yet. I keep putting that off for whatever reason. I tried to do it, and then I got sidetracked. I was on vacation. I don't know. Kids caught a fish or something. I had to put my phone down, whatever it was. So I got to do that. I'm waiting for the hats.
Don't hold your breath.
Branded Bills, I think, is going to do our hats. I don't know what's going on. I hate it because this World Series hat's only a year old and it's already fading, and shows you how much I wear hats. But then you get 20% off our events, and that includes our trip to Las Vegas with True Fan Travel, November 15th through the 18th. It'll be Clarence and the other Jeff, and who else is on our Mavs team? Jesse. Wow, I gotta forget Jesse. And then I think we might be adding another one here soon. Anyway, they're all going to be there, and you get to hang out with Clarence and have a good time, and get to hang out with the other guys too. Get to gamble on football. Mandalay Bay, where you're going to stay. It's a nice place. There was winter meetings there not that long ago. Where it was, that's where we stayed. Lots of options. You don't even have to leave the place if you don't want to. And then you'll go to the game and have a great time, and you'll save 20% off. So that's why it's important to be a diehard. So you can save, 20% off of that trip will probably buy you 2 or 3 years of worth of diehard subscription. So go ahead and give you more gambling money. I guess that's the most important thing. You'll have more money to gamble with if you're a diehard. If you do it for $36, like we've been talking about. So anyway, become a diehard. Go to Vegas, truefantravel.com. Awesome.
Yeah.
Dan, 1995, and Mark, who concurred. Diehard. I don't like to say this, even though I'm a diehard Rangers fan, but I don't see a scenario of us going to the postseason this year. Well, it looks pretty bleak. Mark said same. The lineup is terrible, and that's a shame. It is a shame. But again,
it ain't over till it's over.
It's such a long season, and there are teams, not just the Tigers last year because they're the shining example, but the 22 Braves were just farting around, hanging around, kind of like the Rangers, and then took off, just blew the doors off the Mets. There are a lot of examples of it. Last year the Astros were just kind of middle of the road, and then they had a great August, and ended up winning the division pretty comfortably. So there are examples pretty much every year, sometimes multiple. But it has been a frustrating season. I agree with you. I think the most frustrated people are Chris Young and Bruce Bochy. And I think that their frustration, at least Chris Young's frustration, will be dealt with in the offseason with the players who don't return. I think it's pretty clear after last season and this season that the Rangers have to restructure the lineup. More guys who get on base, guys who don't swing as freely, and so you're not going to trade Corey Seager, who swings freely, but also will take his walks. Simeon will take his take his walks. He's just having trouble making contact lately, or good contact. He's putting the ball in play. Josh Young's got to be better. Probably not going to get rid of Josh Young because he's still so young, and I think he's pre-arb still. So you're not getting rid of that, but he needs to work on his approach. So Evan Carter, is Evan Carter going to be healthy? Wyatt Langford's got to cut down on strikeouts. He hasn't had the year I think that a lot of people thought he would have. He's going to get to 20 homers, which is nice. He's probably going to get to 20 steals if he's not there already. Great, but he strikes out too much. So that's something else that he has to work on. His defense is fantastic. You forget he's a catcher only a few years ago. You go to the start of last season, and you're like, oh my God, how much outfield is he going to play? He's terrible. Well, right now he's not terrible. He's pretty good. But again, Garcia, Heim, wouldn't count on them being back. Or if they are back, it won't be much of a pay raise, and it'll be because the Rangers tried but couldn't find anything better or couldn't find what they wanted for those guys. But again, I don't think it's going to take much. They need to restock the farm system. Probably would have to get some relievers in a trade with at least, try to get a relief piece with the bullpen. All basically 1-year guys. You got Maton and Coulomb who were in their walk years. They were rentals when the Rangers got them. Be nice to see them both come back. Coulomb lives in Richards.
Mm-hmm.
And Maton said the last 2 off seasons has tried to sign with the Rangers.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of desire there. They're not making a ton of money this year, so it seems like, hey, all right. Will Chris Martin be back at age 39/40? He's been hurt a lot this year. I don't know. Garcia's back because he's under club control. Obi Milner lives in North Richmond Hills. No reason not to re-sign him.
Obi's got to stay.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Sean Armstrong's been nice. I don't know that Jacob Webb. I forget he's on the injured list. Jacob Webb, I'm not sure that he'll be back next year. Do you re-sign Patrick Corbin? Because you're going to have some rotation spots to fill.
Yeah.
Do you re-sign him? He's only making $1 million this year. Probably 2 and 20 would get him back. But I don't know. I mean, can you do better than Patrick Corbin? Sure. But he's served the heck of a purpose.
Right, though. Yeah.
But John Gray, don't expect him back. Don't expect Tyler Malley back. That's almost $30 million right there to play with in free agents. Chris Martin would be another 5.5. Probably Milner, Armstrong. That's probably another 5.
So really, you're looking at
40.
Rangers.
If you don't trade, if you trade a Dlls, that's a little over 9 off the books. I think is making 4 or 5 this year. So you could be looking at $50 to $60 million.
A whole bunch of new faces
to play with. Kyle Tucker. Go get Kyle Tucker. What the hell?
You think he's 1 year in Chicago?
I don't know if it's 1 year in Chicago, but he's going to be a free agent.
Yeah.
Would you spend $30 million a year on him? $32 million a year on him? I probably would.
Good dude.
Yeah, it's not my money. But you need Rocker to be better. You're not going to have Cody Bradford next year, so you need to find another internal starter. And I don't know that you got one. Maybe you let Jake Latch try to start. Maybe you let Cole Winn try to start, but then you're going to run into some.
Did you mention Bradford?
Bumps. Yeah, Bradford. No, out next year. So you probably have to go outside to help the rotation. So that's why I think Corbin's in play. But anyway, there's a chance to have a pretty exciting offseason.
We're gonna need maybe a new Rolodex face card. Could be a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be wearing.
But also,
my name is name tags.
Also, the thing to remember, it's like these are grown men. They don't like losing.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacob deGrom was pissed after his start,
yeah.
He hates losing way more than he likes winning.
Yeah.
He took accountability 5 or 6 times in his presser of if I wouldn't have made that mistake, and I got to clean up my mistakes. And it's like,
Yeah.
he didn't pitch a bad game, you
Right.
know, and that's why he's great. He takes accountability, and, you know, he's not satisfied at all.
Right.
But these are grown men. They don't enjoy losing. They're not just showing up to the park and playing cards and, oh,
Yeah.
we got a baseball game today. Like, this
Yeah.
is serious. This is how they put food on the table for their families. So I know there's frustration, but there's nobody more frustrated than the guys themselves because they know what they're capable of.
Agreed.
So.
All right, well, now we can clean up. Rangers had some minor league award winners for July internally. Abby Ortiz, their best player. Hard to argue with what he did at Frisco. Caden Scarborough down there at Hickory, the young. Everybody has a lot of hope on Caden. He had a great month. Gerardo Carrillo from Mexico, a reliever with reliever of the month. He's with Frisco. 2 springs ago, he came to spring training and blew out his elbow and had Tommy John. And then Casey Cook, this is interesting. He's the defender of the month for July in the minor leagues. And the question with him was, where's he going to play defense? So wherever he's playing, apparently he's doing a hell of a job. The bat, though, still a little sleepy for him. And then 3 guys were the players of the week in their leagues last year. Abby Ortiz, his first week in the Pacific Coast League, boom, player of the week. Maxton Martin, player of the week in Hickory. He's had a great season. He was the 11th rounder in 23, I want to say. Was committed to Oregon and ended up signing with the Rangers from a small town down there in southeast Washington. And then Ismail Agreda, his Hickory teammate, was the pitcher of the week in that league, which is the Carolina League. So some good things on the minor league side. And then history was made yesterday.
It was.
With in the umpire realm, when Jen Powell became the first female umpire. Actually, Saturdays when she made the history, because she worked in the field of the Marlins Braves series. And then yesterday, she made her debut behind the plate, and her first strike call was off the plate. Her first called strikeout was off the plate. But if you look at the umpire scorecard, and there it is from our friends at Ump Scorecard, it's about average. What she did was about average. Honestly, when you look at around the majors,
Saw she was
kind of right there. Now, yesterday it wasn't a great day, or other umpires had better days. She was only like 13th or 15th, but this is 13 of 15. But this is pretty standard stuff. If you follow this account on Twitter, you see these kind of numbers. So good for her. I saw her in a series in Round Rock last year. She worked the plate one day, and then the next day she ejected a guy, the Padres' third baseman at the time, or as the Padres organization. She ran out the El Paso third baseman. So anyway, pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, power rankings. Rangers number 15.
Yes, they're right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
Where you go. From 10 to 1, Astros, Mariners, Red Sox, Padres, Tigers, Blue Jays, Cubs, Phillies, Dodgers, and nobody's higher than the Brewers right now.
Yeah, I think the Mariners are a little underrated. I would have put them a little, but can't argue with them.
Baseball is up.
Attendance, yeah.
1.6 million fans attended MLB games this weekend. It's the highest attendance for August weekend since 2015.
That's good. Yeah, I guess you're back to school last weekend, last hurrah. The Rangers had great crowds. A lot of Philly fans in attendance. That was, I don't know, good or bad. A little surprising, I guess. I didn't know that Phillies had such a following here. So yeah.
Were you happy with how involved the fans were?
There wasn't a lot to cheer if you're a Rangers fan, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yep. Well, we got the bell. We only had 2 more things to go. No big deal.
All right. Well, we'll be sure to get into it tomorrow because we're here.
Nathan Eovaldi tonight, as Rarities pointed out.
Nasty Nate on the mound. All right. Thanks for hanging out on the DLLS Rangers podcast. You guys have a good day.
We all silly like the mayor.